How's it going, guys? Andy here from 4K Downtime, back at you with another 4K video, here giving you my impressions of Microsoft's press conference that was just held last night. Now, I just want to make a quick announcement here that I will be doing also an impression on some of the other publishers' press conference as well. It's just that when it comes to the big three, I want to dedicate a video each. The others, I'm probably going to wrap it all under one, so look forward to that as well. So I will be talking about EA's, even though I probably shouldn't be talking about it, but yeah, that doesn't matter. But when it comes to Microsoft's one, all in all, I'll be just direct right now. It was pretty good in my opinion. It wasn't bad at all, but at the same time, some of the stuff that I was hoping in my prediction didn't come true. So let's just go right into it. First of all, I want to talk about the studios that Microsoft have acquired, and in my opinion, the ones that they acquired, some of them shocked me, some of them didn't so much. I mean, for example, for them to acquire Playground Games, that I was actually always a bit surprised that they didn't acquire them, considering like Forza has been with them for like years now, so that kind of surprised me. Then there's the others like the Initiative, Ninja Theory shocked me quite a bit, Undead Labs, which may stay at Decade instead of Decade 2, so that makes sense as well, and Compulsion Games for We Happy Few. So those are all good. I'm glad Microsoft is actually investing money to acquire some of these studios, so just they could have hopefully in the future they will get more exclusive titles, more unique ones that they could call themselves. But this is basically where my issues with Microsoft's press conference actually comes in. If you have actually looked back at my prediction for Microsoft's press conference, one of the biggest issues I have with Microsoft at the moment, especially with the Xbox One, is purely on the fact that there are not enough exclusives, or should I say high profile exclusives that could, stand up against neck and neck with the likes of Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, like Horizon Zero Dawn, or other games that Sony has. It's just that they haven't got a title like this that could actually match their competitors' level in terms of just being hugely successful, critical acclaim whatsoever. And right now what we got with Microsoft is when it comes to their exclusives, don't get me wrong, they were exclusive in this press conference that they've done, but they were very, very predictable. It was the next Halo, even though I'm not sure if Halo Infinite is actually Halo 6 because they haven't said, but Forza Horizon 4, Crackdown 3, we expected them to show Crackdown 3. We expected a new Gears, which they did indeed show the new Gears. These were all games that we know about. We know that you're that you're well known for these kind of titles. I was really hoping for some titles that we didn't expect to see. For example, I thought that rumored Perfect Dark game was actually going to be true, but as it turns out it wasn't. And there was nothing new from Rare whatsoever, aside from just again talking a little bit about Sea of Thieves, but that's the only thing that they've really done as far as Rare goes. I will say this, there was a surprise announcement that did took me off guard a little bit, but unfortunately they didn't really show anything, was Battletoads. I was really excited to see what the game was going to be like, but they just basically played the theme, showed us a logo, and then that's it. And even if Battletoads was going to be a thing, I have a feeling it's just probably going to be kind of like an Xbox Live Arcade kind of thing, which is probably going to be a modern day 2D and up, something like that. If they would put more money on it and do something even better, then that's great. But in terms of what I'm guessing that they would do, is probably just going to be Xbox Live Arcade game. But yeah, that was probably the weakest point for me in terms of Microsoft's overall press conference, is simply the fact that in terms of exclusive wise, I still felt like Microsoft is just lacking at the moment. I'm sure what they have showed off Gears at the moment, which I personally think it looks pretty good, and I'm sure Halo Infinite and Horizon 4 is going to be great. I'm not even doubting that that these games are going to be subpar or anything like that, but if Halo 5 and Gears 4 wasn't really able to push the Xbox One's sales, I'm not too sure whether if Halo Infinite and Gears 5 is going to change anything. So yeah, that's just obviously my take on their exclusive problem. That's also the weakest part for me. But other than that, I personally think the presentation was very good. It was fast paced. I really like the kind of rapid fire that they do, very similar to the way how Nintendo does in their digital event, which is just game after game after game, minimal talking. They only really talk about the Game Pass and some of the other stuff that they've discussed, that Phil Spencer have actually discussed. But other than that, everything else was very good. Like, just the way how it was structured was really good. I like the little tease that they did with I love they did that tease with Cyberpunk at the very end. That was pretty cool. And some of the other games that actually, speaking about the games, let's talk about those third-party games. So in terms of like third-party games, some of these games, yeah, I will say that I might dive in a little bit deeper into them, like, especially in the future, because some of these games I'm really looking forward to. But you got a little bit of an extensive look at Battlefield 5. Black Desert looks interesting. Well, interesting enough for me. And Cuphead, I'm actually kind of surprised that they were going to add some DLCs in it, so that in itself is really good. Like I already said, Cyberpunk 2077 looks interesting, has that Blade Runner vibe, definitely for me, and I was like, well, looks interesting. Then the big one for me is without a doubt Devil May Cry 5. Now, I'll be very honest, guys, I will keep this to a minimum, but I'm a huge Devil May Cry fan, so to see that the 5th installment's coming, that's just what I need right now. Like, they couldn't have come with this sequel anytime sooner, but damn, like, am I excited for this. But what I'll do is, regarding Devil May Cry 5, this is one game I definitely will do another video where I go much more in depth into it, because there is a lot I wanted to talk about in Devil May Cry 5. But in terms of what I feel about it at the moment is that I'm really excited, but I do have some concerns regarding it. But other than that, yeah, it looks great. I'm just a little confused on the certain things. But like I said, I will do another video on this, definitely. And then there was Dying Light 2. Now this is one sequel I was actually kind of surprised that we actually have, because I didn't really enjoy the first one. I thought the first one was subpar at best, and I was actually surprised that there was going to be a sequel. But from what I've seen of it, it looks okay. Again, a bit more. Then we got an extensive look at Fallout 76. I'm not the biggest Fallout guy, so I don't really even know what the 76 actually means, so I'm not the best person to discuss this, but from what I've seen, looks pretty good. Then when it comes to Gears, yeah, and when it comes to Gears 5, the funniest thing for me, yeah, is like, aside from Gears 5, which we did have a look at, we saw Gears Pop, which was pretty funny, I gotta say. Like, it made me laugh, definitely made me laugh. Then there was Gears Tactics, which is a turn-based tactical game, and for me it looks, again, somewhat interesting, and it's built specifically for PC, and it's exclusive to PC actually. So yeah, if you love your turn-based tactics games, then this will probably be right up your alley. And another one that I was a bit surprised to see, and this one, it's come off to me as really shocking to be revealed at Microsoft's conference, because this game is very Japanese. Like, it's basically the next big game for Shonen Jump. It's called Jump Force, and it pits the greatest heroes and villains from the 50 years of Shonen's basically history. And you see Dragon Ball Z, you see One Piece, you see Naruto fighting around New York City of all places, and you just basically see Manhattan getting destroyed and everything like that, and you see obviously the DBZ heroes, One Piece and Naruto. You didn't really see anybody other than Goku, Luffy, and Naruto himself, but it looks interesting. It looks like an evolution to Xenoverse, but instead of focused purely on Dragon Ball Z, it's actually the whole of Shonen Jump, so hence why it's called Jump Force. It looks really good. I personally think that trailer was actually pretty cool. Then there's Just Cause 4, which got leaked, so we actually got a bit more of an extensive look at it. There was Kingdom Hearts 3 as well. There was Metro was there. Nier Automata finally getting announced on Xbox One as well. Ori and the Will of the Wisp looks really good. I thought Ori and the Blind Forest was excellent, so even that got me hyped a little bit as well. Then there's a bit of console exclusive kind of stuff with PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds and that. And then there was another one which a lot of people have talked about, of course, From Software's new title. Surprisingly enough, it's not Bloodborne 2, and again, I was really surprised it got announced on Xbox conference, but of course this will be out on PS4 as well. It's Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, and from what I've seen of it, it seems to be kind of it has a bit of Tenchu vibe in it, but basically with the Dark Souls touch, with the whole grappling hook and everything like that. It looks really good. I've never been the biggest fan of the Souls games, but if you're a fan of them, then this game's right up your alley. We got an extensive look at Shadow of the Tomb Raider as well. Again, looks pretty good. There's nothing about it that I have any issues with. I've played the first two, so I'm probably going to definitely play this one as well. Tales of Vesperia getting to definitive edition. Surprise, surprise that it's not a new game. I actually thought, when I first saw the trailer during the live stream, I actually thought it was a brand new game, but unfortunately, like, or not a brand new game, but a sequel. But no, unfortunately, it's just the same game, but the definitive edition. So that in itself I didn't really care. Of course, Ubisoft showed off like the Division. They show a little multiplayer section, which again looks interesting, but I didn't really delve in that much time in the first Division, so I'm not even sure how much better was this one compared to the first one. But hey, you guys who have played it, maybe could let me know below. Then we had PvP as well, got another trailer that came out. Again, it looks really disturbing and weird, which is right up my alley. I kind of really liked it. But yeah, as far as game goes, those were all the games that I personally could remember. My memory is still kind of like somewhat fresh on it, so if I've missed anything, just comment below and let me know what I've actually missed. But other than that, guys, yeah, so regarding its press conference, like I said, I thought it was good overall. My only real biggest issue was just the fact that I felt the key thing about Xbox, which I had the problem, was its lack of like, compelling exclusives. And even after this presentation, I still didn't really felt like Microsoft has addressed that issue. They have addressed it to a certain extent by acquiring more studios, but I'm pretty sure these studios, when they were acquired, like, whatever game that they have planned at the moment, it's probably nowhere near ready. It's like still early in its planning phase. So yeah, hopefully a couple of years down the line, maybe when the Xbox 2 gets announced, we'll actually see these games becoming launch titles or something like that. But in terms of right now what they have, yeah, I still felt like some of these are either at least a year away, or some of them, even if they did come out, they're probably not going to make much of an impact, or at least maybe not on the same level as some of what like Sony's got, for example, with God of War, or what like Nintendo is probably going to be having with Smash Brothers or Pokemon Let's Go. But anyway, that's just my opinion though. Please let me know what you guys think, and as always guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, consider subscribing and giving it a like. If not, you can hit the dislike button. This is Andy from 4K Downtime signing off. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.